My name is Charlotte Linden. I'm 36 years old, and I grew up as the forgotten youngest daughter in one of the most powerful families in Durango, Colorado. Raised on land worth millions, but treated like I was worth nothing. While my sister Genevieve ran the family business and carried our father's legacy on her shoulders, I was the quiet one, the convenient one, the one everyone assumed would never amount to much. I learned early how to stay invisible, how to smile through dismissal, how to swallow the ache of never quite belonging. I thought marrying Adrian would finally make me someone in my own family's eyes. I thought wrong, because the morning of my wedding, my sister slipped a note into my bouquet, and by the end of that day, I would realize I had married straight into a nightmare. I should have noticed it earlier. The florist was late. The bouquet arrived without a card. One of the bridesmaids handed it to me with a tilt of the head and a shrug. Your sister said to give this to you personally. Pale roses, blood-red dahlias, lavender pressed tight, like a secret. I was too focused on not passing out in my gown to think, until I felt the edge of paper tucked into the stems. I slipped it out. Just 7 words, handwritten in a hurried scrawl I knew too well. He's lying. Don't say I do. Gee. My fingers clenched. My stomach hollowed. The air in the bridal suite shifted, like the whole house exhaled without me. Outside, music started. Someone knocked on the door lightly. They're ready. I didn't have time to think. I shoved the note into my sleeve and stood. My reflection stared back at me, too composed, too rehearsed. The kind of bride who looked more like a PR campaign than a woman in love. Jenny never apologized for the truth. She didn't have to. Her warnings always came late but sharp. I walked down the hallway toward the ceremony, heels muffled on the carpet. At the landing, I saw Adrian, standing by the altar, smiling like the sun hadn't exploded in my chest just moments ago. They say betrayal doesn't show up in black masks or dark alleys. It wears tuxedos, smells expensive, leans in close and says, "Trust me." I reached the aisle. The music swelled. Guests stood. Every step I took, that note pulsed against my skin like a second heartbeat. Genevieve was in the front row, still unreadable. Her eyes met mine for half a second. Was this sabotage? Envy? Protection? I couldn't tell. I could only walk forward. The officiant welcomed everyone. The wind picked up across the ridge. We were standing on old family land, 300 acres of inherited silence, a place where we buried secrets deeper than our dead. I took Adrian's hand. His palm was warm, but his grip too firm. He leaned in slightly. "You okay?" he whispered. I nodded, swallowed, tried not to look at the note pressing into my wrist. The vows began. I could hear the tremor in my own voice. Each line blurred into the next. My name, his, the promises, the crowd, smiling politely. Then came his turn. Adrian's jaw shifted. He looked at me, blinked twice, and then I felt it. The note. It slipped. A quiet flick of paper as it fell between our joined hands. He saw it. I watched him pause. His smile stayed, but something else flickered in his eyes, like calculation just got invited to the party. He bent, picked it up slowly, read it without flinching, folded it once, tucked it into his pocket, then leaned in. "We'll talk about this later," he whispered. That was the moment, the first real one, because love doesn't say we'll talk later when it's innocent. The sky cracked above us, a sudden thunderclap, far off but loud enough to turn heads. I blinked against the wind. The officiant stumbled over his next line. Adrian gripped my hand tighter, and just before I could say "I do," the note slipped from my sleeve and landed between us. The note was gone. I didn't see him slip it into his pocket, but I knew he had it. I saw it in the way Adrian's jaw tightened, just for a second, like someone trying to smile through a gunshot. He looked at me the way lawyers look at witnesses who said too much. He didn't flinch. He didn't ask. He just kept smiling. That's what scared me more than anything. The reception blurred. Champagne, laughter, hands on my back, cameras in my face. I kept nodding, thanking people I couldn't hear, hugging guests I didn't trust. Genevieve avoided me. She moved like a ghost in Burgundy, always 10 feet away, always in my peripheral vision. Every time I turned to confront her, someone blocked my path. A cousin, a server, my own new husband. I caught her eyes once and she mouthed something. 2 words. Not here. Adrian's toast was perfect. Smooth. Funny. He told a story about us meeting at a financial seminar in Aspen, how I corrected his math and stole his number. Everyone laughed. Except Genevieve. Her eyes were locked on the glass and her hand like it held a code. Back in the bridal suite, I shut the door behind me too hard. The silence hit me like ice. I kicked off my heels, ripped out the hairpins, grabbed my phone and called her. Voicemail. I didn't leave a message. I tried again. Still voicemail. Then a knock. I opened the door. Jenny. Alone. Pale. No lipstick. No smile. She walked in without asking and closed the door behind her. You read the note? She asked. What the hell is going on? She didn't sit. She stood by the window, one hand lifting the curtain just enough to peek out. You're not the first, she said. And if you don't stop this now, you won't be the last. Stop what? She turned to me. Adrian. The wedding. Everything. You're jealous. The words flew out before I could stop them. A reflex. A last defense. Her jaw clenched. If I wanted your life, she said, I would have taken it a long time ago. Silence dropped between us like a dead animal. You need to check his laptop, she said, and stay away from his briefcase. Why? Because if you wait, it'll be too late. She walked out, didn't look back. Adrian came in 20 minutes later, loosened tie, cufflinks off, drunk, but not sloppy. You okay? He asked gently. I nodded, smiled, practiced. He kissed my cheek. You were incredible today. Everyone loves you. People only love the version of you that benefits them. He hit the shower. I opened his laptop. Password protected. I tried the usual, my birthday, his birthday, our anniversary. Nothing. Then I remembered something he said once. You know what they say, always hide in plain sight. I typed his mother's name. It opened. My heart kicked. Inside, basic work folders, financials, photos, then one folder buried under layers. Linden Holdings. Last modified yesterday. Encrypted. I copied the folder to a flash drive I kept in my purse, just in case. Then I closed everything. He came out, towel around his waist, smiling like nothing was burning. We got in bed. I pretended to sleep. He fell asleep faster than I expected. I waited, listened, breathing steady. Room dark. I slipped out of bed, grabbed his suit jacket, checked the pockets. Nothing. Then something clinked. Inner lining. I reached in. A flash drive. Unlabeled. Cold. I tucked it into my bra and crept back into bed. The house creaked. Then again. Not from us. I held my breath. A door. Not ours. Soft but definite. I sat up. Adrian didn't move. Someone was in the house. Not a guest. Not a servant. Someone who walked like they had a map. I stood. Quiet. Moved to the window. Curtains parted. Outside, under the moonlight. A figure. Black jacket. Hoodie. No face. Just standing at the tree line. Watching. My skin went tight. The figure didn't move. Didn't approach. Didn't run. It just stood. And then, it lifted something. A phone. The screen lit up. A picture of me. Taken from inside the house. Timestamp, 2 hours ago. My breath locked. I blinked. The figure vanished. I turned to Adrian. Still asleep. Or pretending. Either way, I didn't feel alone anymore. Someone was in the house, and I wasn't supposed to know. Morning came too fast. The sun cut through the curtains like a blade, slicing through my sleep-deprived haze. Adrian wasn't beside me. The bed was cold on his side. A knock at the door. Not soft. 3 sharp hits. I wrapped the robe tighter, crossed the room and opened it. Genevieve. Get dressed. Now. I didn't ask. I grabbed jeans, a jacket, pulled my hair into a knot. She was already in the hallway when I stepped out. She didn't speak. She just walked. We drove in silence. Out of town. Past the ranch gates. Into the foothills. Genevieve gripped the wheel like it owed her money. We're meeting someone, she said. Who? Someone who knows who Adrian really is. A cabin sat like a bruise on the mountainside, half swallowed by pine trees, windows blacked out, the kind of place built for disappearing. Genevieve killed the engine. I stepped out. A smell hit me, would rot, gasoline, damp earth. She pulled a crowbar from the back seat. You came armed. I came smart. We pried open the door. Inside, the stench got worse. Mold. Blood. Then we heard it. A low groan. Back room. I followed her, breath shallow. Dax Forrester was tied to a chair, wrists raw from trying to escape. Blood on his shirt. One eye swollen shut. Dried vomit on the floor. Genevieve moved fast. She untied him while I grabbed water from a broken mini fridge. Who did this? She asked. He choked on the first sip, coughed. Spit. Adrian's not alone, he said. He's just the front. The front for what? I was tracking money trails, real estate trusts, false LLCs, and they lead back to your father. I froze. Genevieve didn't. Bullshit, she snapped. Call your old family lawyer. Ask about Pine Ridge Holdings. He'll hang up. I looked at Genevieve. She was already dialing. Busy tone. Dialed again. Disconnected. She didn't blink. He said, You're not the first. Dax nodded. There were others. Women. Wealthy. Vulnerable. All married. All signed power of attorney. I sat down. The chair groaned beneath me. You're saying Adrian's a con? He's a pattern. I pulled the flash drive from my pocket. Can you open this? Dax nodded. Genevieve helped him to his feet. He limped to a busted laptop in the corner. Booted it. Minutes crawled. Then the screen lit up. Files. Folders. Names. Charlotte Vale. Marriage license. Trust adjustment. Linden Holdings. Reallocation agreement. Insurance. Charlotte Linden. Beneficiary. Adrian Vale. I couldn't breathe. That's a fake signature, I said. I never signed that. It's already filed, Dax said. County registrar got it 2 days ago. Legal pending final notarization. My stomach dropped. He's waiting for the honeymoon, Genevieve whispered. To push it through, I said. To make it legal. A phone buzzed. Dax's burner lit up. Blocked number. One message. You should have stayed dead. Genevieve took the phone, smashed it on the floor. Time to end this. We got back in the car, drove downhill. My hands shook the whole way. You okay? She asked. No. Good. Stay sharp. That night, Adrian cooked dinner. Candlelight. Music. The good wine. He poured 2 glasses. To a future we can't escape, he said. I forced a smile. I need a shower, I told him. Be right back. In the bathroom, I threw up twice. Washed my face. My phone vibrated on the sink. A new email. No sender. I opened it. A photo attachment. My bedroom. Me. Asleep. Taken from 2 feet away. Time-stamped 3:04 a.m. While Adrian was next to me. Or so I thought. Then I scrolled. Next photo. Same angle. But I wasn't in it. The bed was empty. But someone else was standing in the room. Adrian. Smiling at the camera. It wasn't just my money. He was after my life. We had 72 hours. That's how long Dax said it would take for the trust documents to activate if they weren't challenged. After that, Adrian would own controlling interest in everything. Not just the land. The entire family trust. My inheritance. My future. My name. So we built a trap. The plan was simple. Restage the wedding as a redo. Blame the storm for the chaos. Invite everyone back to celebrate. But really it was bait. We'd wire the whole reception. Audio cameras. Officers planted as guests. The estate attorney, Penny, posing as the notary. A judge on standby in case it went to hell. People believe what they're shown, Jenny said. So we show him what he wants. And let him bury himself with it. I couldn't sleep the night before. My heart ticked louder than the clock. There's a saying that stuck with me. Every betrayal begins with a borrowed smile. I'd married a smile. Morning. The staff was already setting up outside. String lights, polished tables, replated cake. It looked like a fairy tale trying too hard. Adrian kissed my forehead. You look like you slept in a storm. I did. He laughed. One more party. Then we're done. Just us. Just us, I repeated and tasted ash. Penny arrived an hour before the guests. She handed me the revised documents. The real ones, with my notarized statement prepared. You understand, she said. If he signs the forged version, we have him. And if he doesn't, then we pray he's arrogant enough to push. Genevieve was already dressed. Burgundy again, like blood, dried in velvet. He'll take the bait, she said. Men like him always do. I nodded. But what if he sees it coming? She leaned in. Then we show him what happens when prey fights back. The guests arrived. The music swelled. Everything looked perfect. That's the danger of beautiful things. They hide rot better. Adrian took the mic just before dinner. His smile stretched tight. Thank you all for coming again, he said. Life has a way of testing love. But we passed. Twice. Laughter. Toasts. Then he turned to me. Took my hand. I have something for you, he said. A surprise. He pulled out a folder. Sleek. Black leather. My stomach flipped. This is just security, he said. In case anything ever happened to either of us. I wanted you to have peace of mind. He opened the folder. Inside, trust transfer. Power of attorney. My signature. Perfectly forged. I stared at it. Then up at him. He winked. I smiled. You should have had it notarized, I said. Silence. Then, two men from the crowd stepped forward. Badges flashed. Chairs scraped. Someone screamed. Adrian spun, confused, then furious. You set me up, he snarled, reaching for the folder. Don't, one officer warned. Hands where we can see them. Adrian raised his hand slowly, still smiling. I want my lawyer, he said. You'll need one, Penny replied, stepping forward. Chaos. Guests scattered. Officers cuffed him. He didn't resist. He didn't fight. He just looked at me and said, You think you won, but you have no idea what's coming. They dragged him out. The music stopped. I stood there, bouquet slipping from my fingers. Everything in slow motion. The flowers hit the floor. Someone sobbed. Genevieve appeared beside me. You okay? No. Good. I went back inside into the bridal suite. Locked the door. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. No message. Just a photo. Adrian. Not in custody. Not in the squad car. But standing in our bedroom. The timestamp for minutes ago. And just like that, the man I almost married became the man I'd testify against. I hadn't planned to go back. Not to the ballroom. Not to the crowd. Not to the charade. But the documents were ticking like a bomb. Trust transfer. Power shift. My life on paper, rewritten without me. Outside, the sky was gray, threatening rain, like it knew something was about to break. Genevieve stood beside me in silence, her eyes sharp under the soft glow of the chandelier. Penny was adjusting the small mic pin to my dress, whispering, "Remember, every word matters." A woman once told me, "The real test of strength isn't how loud you can shout, but how quietly you survive." That felt right now. Quiet, still alive. The ballroom was alive. Guests whispered. Glasses clinked. Jazz band played a slow number that didn't match my pulse. I scanned the room. Cameras hidden in floral arrangements. Officers disguised as waitstaff. People smiling, oblivious. Adrian wasn't there yet. That felt wrong. Then he walked in. Perfect. White shirt, sleeves rolled slightly. A tie, dark like he meant business, not ceremony. He scanned the room. His gaze landed on me. A slow smile. A predator with a tux. My heart hit my sternum like a fist. He approached. "Beautiful night," he said. "Too calm. Too cold." "It's functional," I replied, eyes forward. He chuckled, like he was in on a joke no one else heard. "About that folder," he began. My breath snagged. I kept walking. I reached the little stage planted in the corner. Penny gave a subtle nod. The plan was simple. He'd talk. We'd record. Law enforcement would move. But simple never means easy. Adrian lifted the mic. "Tension," he said, "is just fear wearing a suit." The crowd laughed. I didn't. His eyes flicked at mine, sharp, hungry. I saw something new. Not arrogance. Desperation. He opened a folder. Not mine. Something else. Blueprints. Names. People I recognized. Power of attorney documents. Not just mine. Others. Multiple women. Other estates. Other lands. My pulse doubled. This was bigger than me. Bigger than my inheritance. This was a network. "Ambition without ethics is just organized violence," I whispered, recalling a phrase I once heard in an interview. Adrian smiled at me like he was inviting me into it. "I prepared these for you," he said. Camera lights blinked like watchful eyes. Then the reveal. He pulled out a USB. Slow motion. Gasps around me. He held it above his head. "For safekeeping," he said, "in case someone tried to intercept." I saw officers tense. The room shifted. Penny moved. 2 men in suits dropped badges. A dozen others stood, crowd managing, blocking exits. I realized then the only thing worse than being betrayed is thinking you're the last twist in the story. Adrian stepped back. His smile cracked. "You think you own this," he said, eyes flicking from officer to officer like he was calculating. Always calculating. "Look again." Penny whispered into my earpiece. "Now." I reached out, took the USB. My finger hovered. I plugged it into the laptop sitting on the DJ table. Screen lit. Files appeared. Not just trust documents. Email chains. Wire transfers. Multiple entities. Complicit names. Names I recognized. A name I swore I'd never see here. Genevieve. A chill shot through me. Not betrayal. Not yet. Confusion. Fear. Then confirmation. A joint account. Shared signatures. And beneath it a note. For survival. Adrian lunged. Not at me. At the laptop. "Stop," he growled. An officer intercepted him. A flash tied to cuff. Guests backed away. My stomach dropped. Genevieve stood frozen. Eyes wide. Not defiance. Horror. I didn't just ruin a man. I exposed something that may have been protection. Or a deeper lie. The USB blinked on screen, revealing every secret Adrian had hidden, but also raising a question I didn't want to ask. Why was my sister's name in this? And just like that, the night meant to end a nightmare became the moment everything began. The courtroom was cold. Not temperature cold, but truth cold. Steel benches, bright lights, the hum of legal fatigue. Adrian stood in the defendant's box, eyes trained on me. Not with hatred, but calculation. His voice echoed before he spoke. You think you've won? I didn't flinch. I wasn't the same woman who walked down that aisle. Not anymore. The prosecutor laid out the evidence. Emails, wire transfers, forged documents, a pattern of deception like cracks in ice before it breaks. Adrian had tried to rewrite more than my future. He tried to erase my identity. But the law in America is unforgiving to fraud, especially when it endangers lives. As witness, they asked me to speak. I stood, hand steady, breath measured. There's a phrase I repeated to myself like a mantra. The truth isn't loud. It's relentless. I told the court everything, the photos, the USB, the staged redo ceremony, the hidden trust transfer, the phone messages threatening my life. The judge listened without expression, like a mountain that has seen storms and scars and still stands. Outside, media swirled. Reporters. Flashes. Questions I didn't want to answer. I kept walking. The ranch was waiting. The land that was supposed to be my inheritance. Our inheritance. My phone buzzed. A message. No number. Just words. The conspiracy runs deeper. I felt it like a shadow brushing my spine. Genevieve waited by the old oak at the edge of the property. Her face was pale. Honestly pale. Not the polished mask from before. She didn't speak. She just handed me an envelope. Inside, bank statements. Names I didn't recognize. Accounts tied to Adrian's LLCs, but also Linden Group Holdings Incorporated. Not the trust. Not the estate account. A different corporation. A shell. And under it, an email thread between Jenny and someone named Nolan. Not comforting. Just tense. I looked at her. Explain. She exhaled. Years ago, she said, before Father died, we made a decision. I waited. The wind circled us like cold breath. She continued. We were sinking. Losing properties. Pine Ridge loan money. Interest too high. My mind paced ahead, like a jaguar stalking prey. You made a deal, I said. We did what we had to, she said. Her voice cracked. We thought we were protecting you. Protecting me? I blinked. Another message buzzed. Check Nolan's account history. My pulse jumped. It felt wrong. Dangerous. Necessary. I walked to the old barn where the safe was hidden. It had been my father's. The combination was something only he and I knew. 3 numbers. Past. Present. Future. I unlocked it. Inside files. Paper trails. Signatures. Everything that pointed not to protection, but manipulation. Records of land reallocation. Trust adjustments. Payments to Nolan. Money siphoned to offshore accounts. I thought I understood betrayal. This was different. Deeper. A betrayal not of love, but of blood. I didn't hear footsteps until a voice whispered behind me, looking for answers. I turned. Penny. Her eyes sharp. And records like these, she pointed at the stack in my hands, they can make or break legacy, but they also make or break people. She paused. There's more. She handed me another file, this one digital. Photos, videos, of meetings between Jenny and Nolan. Laughing. Secret handshakes. Deals. Not about saving the family. About profiting from its downfall. My stomach twisted. The betrayal was complete. Up close. Personal. I stood in the dust of the barn, the weight of truth settling like ashes on my shoulders. Loss wasn't just about stolen money. It was about trust. About the people you think would never. Sirens. Not distant. Close. Too close. I stepped out of the barn. Lights flashed through the barn doors. Red and blue. Genevieve standing not far away. Hands in handcuffs. Officers approaching. She didn't fight. Just looked at me. Her face unreadable. I thought I was right, she said. Right for the family. Her voice broke like ice on stone. I didn't answer. Because amidst the storm of revelations, one truth stood clear. Family is never what you inherit. It's what you choose. Weeks later, the dust settled. Adrian pleaded guilty to multiple counts of fraud and endangerment. Sentenced. Offshore accounts frozen. Trusts restored, amended, protected. I stood in front of the oak tree, alone this time. No ceremony. No parade. Just wind. And quiet. A phrase drifted through my mind. Survival is not just about keeping breath. It's about keeping truth alive. Truth had cost me blood. Truth had cost me certainty. But truth also gave me clarity. The land was still mine. Not because paper said so, but because I fought for it. I walked back to the ranch house. Windows open. Sunlight cutting into the dim living room. Dust motes dancing like embers. I sat, breathed, and finally exhaled. The world outside kept spinning. Unpredictable, unsettling, beautiful, and terrifying, just like truth. I closed my eyes. A whisper of wind brushed the curtains. A final message lit up on my phone. This isn't over. I didn't doubt it. Not anymore.